gentlemen, this is the Church Guys Podcast. I'm Brett, I'm the firefighter.
I'm Quentin, I'm the student.
I'm Craig, I'm the pastor.
I'm DJ, and I'm the IT guy.
And we are the Church Guys. I am back. You're welcome. We got a whole lot of topics to talk about today. We got some recaps for some really good stuff that happened at the end of the year and some even better stuff that's going to go on the next part of this fun January year here. Hey, we got some college football national championship things we got to discuss. We're going to go on looking ahead to the NFL draft and college basketball. Hey, March Madness is coming. I'm excited. But before we get there, let's get through some NFL playoff time, baby. It's going down. Woo! Back. It's been a while. And it is so good to be back.
Welcome.
It is good to be back.
A lot of stuff going on, and I'm sorry I missed out. That was a good episode. Y'all had a full episode to where you didn't have any Aggie fight back at all.
I know. I realized
Thank
that.
goodness.
I realized that after we recorded. I told Craig, I was like, "Man, we could have done a full Longhorn episode."
I know it, and of course the Longhorns weren't smart enough to think about Longhorn stuff. I get it. It makes sense.
We were just enjoying the peace and solace that was in the room.
I'm just respectful enough to let it lay till you give up.
All the sound over here on his computer was just not peaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was. It was just a crazy, hectic break. I had a procedure done, and then sick kids and Christmas, and then we had a baby come. Oh my goodness, 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Thank you, tax credit baby. So that was great.
In sports terms, it was fourth quarter with a minute left.
Man,
2-minute warning.
Buzzer beater.
buzzer beater. No
Because you
doubt.
text me at I think it was 8 o'clock. And I was asking how she was doing. No baby yet. And then all of a sudden at 11 o'clock, here comes the picture.
Oh, yeah. No, at 9 o'clock, we were still trying to figure out, is this baby even going to come today or tomorrow?
Yeah.
We didn't even know. And then she started getting some pretty hard, intense contractions and heading towards some more intense labor. And we drove to Rockwall to the birthing center place. And we were there for 25 minutes, and the baby was...
So
Wow.
do they charge you by the hour?
Yeah,
Or by the delivery?
No. I think they charge you by the ounce.
Wow.
Like a
They
turkey?
charge you by the delivery. You got ripped off. They charge you by the hour.
No.
You made a cake.
That was an interesting place, and that's the only time that we've ever done a midwife birth. And there's definite pros to it.
Sure.
I mean,
They've done it for thousands of years before.
yeah.
hospitals.
Yeah.
And just pros just with Brooklyn. I mean, she's producing for the baby like crazy. She's like a Brahms factory, and I mean, it's awesome. Baby is doing great. Immediately started eating, dude.
Oh, wow.
She's healthy. Everything was good, and then it was a whole lot cheaper. I didn't have to pay for 4 different doctors,
True.
So, but Brooklyn, man, I got to give her props. She is a champ.
She's tough. She is tough.
If these football players were half as tough as she was,
Oh, yeah.
or these women are just having babies,
Yeah.
that
yeah.
is beyond me. But yeah, we had a good time. and
Plus,
now
she has to put
everybody's
up with you on a daily.
healthy. Yeah, that no doubt.
That strengthens her.
But yeah, everything's great. We got a good start to the new year. I missed you guys. I listened to it while I was recovering. And yeah, everything was great, man.
I alluded to your recovery.
I appreciate it. If you want to know, you can call in right now, and I'll explain it to you.
903.
Let's talk about some murder that happened
Oh,
in the
gosh.
national
Woo.
championship. It was horrendous.
Hypno fraud.
Oh, or frogs. Oh my goodness.
I will say that I'm sad that college football's over.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, because
It's the
that's
best
like
sport
the hardest
around.
playing, man. That's my favorite sport to watch.
But in my heart of hearts, the championship game went as I expected it to.
Not me.
I didn't. I thought it'd be
Not-
a game.
Not 65-7.
Well, I mean, yeah,
If
not.
we're going to
Goodness
lose. I figured maybe
gracious.
42-14 or something like that. But
Well, the
that
first few series out there, I mean, TCU was like, okay, cool, we're gonna, and then Georgia does what Georgia does. I didn't think they were going to put on 65, but
I
no.
think what happened was, my personal preacher opinion here, is that the worst thing that can happen to TCU happened the week before when they played Ohio State.
Yeah.
When they barely scraped by Ohio State, and I thought, oh, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they would have beat Ohio State by like 14 or 21, it would have been a closer game.
Yeah.
But they had all
for
week to concentrate and get it all right and sharpen it up, and Katie barred the door. It's over.
Oh, man. It was over. It was over well before halftime.
Yeah.
And it was more than just, to me, more than just an SEC dominant thing. It was a biblical whooping, you know.
Max Duggan ran for his life that entire game.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
His
to me,
eyes were wide open.
oh yeah, Georgia just pinned their ears back and just both sides of the ball. They were just unstoppable.
First question: no matter who the opponent was Monday night, would it have mattered?
No, not with the way Georgia played.
That's why I've been rooting for. Well, you have how old is this guy from Georgia? Right,
Stetson Bennett,
He's
25.
25.
25.
Max Duggan the same age.
Yeah,
No,
Max.
no, he's not. He's 22.
Yeah, and Duggan's I thought considerably.
He's a true
young. So they
senior.
said that
Okay.
Stetson is
Younger, older than some NFL quarterbacks.
yes,
3 or 4 of them.
Oh, yeah.
yes. They were comparing him to NFL quarterbacks, and I'm like, that doesn't mean talent, but that does mean a lot of maturity.
Yeah, for sure it
You
does.
could see that Duggan was a little bit haywire and a little bit nerve rattled.
Well, the first time he got sacked, there was like 4 Georgia defenders, and I mean,
400 plus pounds.
yeah, and they just boxed him in, and I felt bad for the guy. I was like, oh, that's gonna hurt.
It sure seemed like you had on TCU side, you have like 6, 7 great players.
Yeah.
But then you have all of Georgia good players.
Their entire line is pretty much all first round picks.
Easily.
Both sides were good. And they took full on advantage of only that small pocket of great players for TCU. And that's what happens. And they just ran.
To me, it basically, the comparison that I have is it looked like an NFL caliber team taking on a backup unit of a high school team.
Yeah.
I mean, because.
And let's talk about this too. TCU snuck by so many times this
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Five
they
games.
They could have
5
lost to
games.
Baylor. They beat Texas by 7, but I mean, they could have. Baylor was a last minute
Field goal.
Chinese
there were-
fire drill. Can I say Chinese fire drill?
I think
Final kick. I said Chinese fire drill. Fire drill.
I'm a fireman. I'll allow it.
But anyway, it was a Chinese fire drill last second kick, and I was like, "Come on, it's Baylor."
Well, think about
Baylor
how
was
many.
not
Put it
good
right down
this
the
year.
middle too.
Yeah, but I can't say that. Retrospectively, I can't say that because people play to who they're playing against.
Yeah.
And so many times you have a great team that only plays average and will still lose that average game whenever they should full well blow them away. Just like, I mean, the Cowboys do it, but
That's Cowboys.
It's hard to look back and say that because they proved they went undefeated.
Oh, I know,
You know?
but I'm saying they snuck by. I'd say
Yeah.
they snuck by.
But I mean, you got to think about it. Think of how many games that TCU played from behind this
Every
year.
one of them. That's what I'm
Every
talking
single one of them.
8 out of like 11, I
Yeah,
believe.
they came from behind
Or 12,
every
whatever.
single
about.
game
So
and
the
won.
glass slipper finally busted.
Oh, it was.
Well, we talked
Monday
about. Me and
night.
DJ said if
Oh,
they
yeah.
get behind Georgia, it's game over.
It's done.
They
Dude,
cannot.
And honestly, I stopped
behind
watching the game at
14.
halftime. I checked out at halftime. I'm like, there's no reason to
And
watch
if it was 14, if Georgia got up 14-0 first, I said it ain't gonna happen. And then they got 10-7. I thought, okay,
Yeah.
maybe we got a game like you said, DJ. But then it just didn't turn out that way.
Georgia was like, nope, not going to let this happen. And just turned it on. I will say, though, SoFi Stadium was a cool place to have a national title game.
Except for the rain.
Oh, yeah,
They
except
have
for
a
that.
roof but they don't have walls.
Yeah,
That's California for
but
you.
that giant, like, that giant Jumbotron that goes around the
Oh, yeah,
entire
that's
stadium,
cool.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's
Like they do
legit.
at Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's legit.
So it was something else to watch.
Well,
But Georgia repeated, so there.
What's crazy is they lost 5 first rounders last year. Defensive players in the first round.
And
And
there's-
there's like 15
Yeah.
first through third round players.
It's
And
going to
then
happen the same way this year.
Convince that team to where they're saying, "Oh, people thought we were going to go 5-7, 6-6." The players are saying that literally,
yeah,
and it's
whatever.
like, you really believe that? But they're saying it genuinely. Like they really, the coach is saying, people think you're going to go 5-7 this year, and
And they're already reloaded for next year.
I'm telling you,
I think they
and they
had
don't
like
play anybody besides
Yeah.
Tennessee,
Tennessee at
Kentucky,
the
and
end.
Florida.
I don't know. SEC is pretty tough.
Not that side of
East,
it.
the East is
Not
weak.
that
though.
side of it.
It's a tougher conference than
Not that
Ohio
side of it.
State.
Oh, I agree with yeah.
You know, they'll
Big
be
Ten
more
is-
deserving
yeah.
than Pac-12. So,
But
it's a
but
tougher
honestly,
conference.
again, think about Michigan. TCU snuck by Michigan
yeah.
because of Michigan's mistakes. I don't think Michigan would have given Georgia any better game.
Yeah, I don't.
But
think
again,
so
they
either.
just snuck by every week
Yeah.
with some little goofy little trick play.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
But they got
For
it
real.
done.
They did.
Got the
They
wins
did.
until they needed the other one.
Now here comes the question. I know some people say, "Well, I'd rather been there," but I don't know. That kind of biblical butt whoop you don't come back from very often.
No.
Ooh.
I mean, they were
You
showing.
made it to the championship, but it leaves a stain for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they were showing people that were starting to walk out at halftime. So, I mean, it's TCU people.
Could you imagine buying tickets?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no. Oh,
I can let myself leave.
Do you know Jason Kidd and Luca were there?
yeah, because they were playing down the road.
Yeah.
Like the next day or whatever.
And they ain't got to worry about how much tickets.
No,
cost.
they don't have to worry about it.
They probably left.
That's
too.
pocket change for them.
Exactly.
So speaking of drafts, we have I think this was like the 8th mock. And I didn't realize they do so many mock drafts. This is mock draft number 8.
No, it depends on who you pick. I mean, who you're following, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tom
So
McShay or whoever else I'm going to do.
I forget who did this one, but
PFF,
yeah.
Pro Football Focus.
Oh yeah, it says so at the bottom. So this is the current one. Later on, we get into the NFL stuff. We'll go into specifics as what the Cowboys and Packers are projected, but
Because I'll say this right now: is this PFF? I saw one on ESPN. It wasn't Tom McShay, but somebody else. They had Will Levis going before Bryce Young, and I thought, sorry, I'll pass.
Will
I'll
Levis
pass.
is good, but he's not Bryce Young caliber good.
No, but I think they're just basing that off of physique because he's like 6'5", 220. And Bryce
Yeah.
Young is 6 foot 180.
Yeah.
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 That's what they're looking at. And they're saying if I can develop this quarterback and mold him into the quarterback I want, the potential's there. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Kind of like Josh Allen. No, 3 years ago, Josh Allen was a nobody at Wyoming.
Yeah.
Allen Hurts too.
It just takes
Yeah.
the right. It takes the right recipe. It takes the right recipe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You got to have the
You
right.
got to be in the right place. You got to get
Yep.
drafted in the right place.
Well, and
If
it's got the Panthers beside them. They had a pretty good big player of a quarterback took them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe they're trying to recoup that and try to have something where they can mold it and
Yeah.
go at it again.
If the number 10 pick stays where it's at, Philadelphia is going to be a tough team next year. They got Bijan Robinson falling to them.
I don't know if he'll start his first year because they got Miles Sanders, but
I mean, still, if you got a
Shoot.
rotation though, like
I
that,
would not want to play them.
that's going to be a dangerous team. But you got Bryce Young going to the Texans. That's going to be a waste.
We'll also have some trades in here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Somebody said, "Here's what me and Quentin are watching this too."
The
on
Packers are going
ESPN.
to trade all theirs away. They always do.
We heard that who was the quarterback last year that got drafted? My mind is
What do you
blank.
mean? Quarterback.
That they should trade their quarterback and draft Bryce Young.
Okay.
But who was the first round? Who's the number one pick last year?
Yeah,
I'm-
I'm trying to think.
I'm drawing 'em.
Yeah.
Like I'm wanting to say
Yeah,
Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence, but that
That's-
was a couple
it-
years
No,
ago.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Joe Burrows?
No.
No. That's further back.
I can't.
All right, I'm going to look it up because it's going to drive me nuts.
Oh no, it was Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yeah.
They
Yeah,
should
yeah,
trade,
yeah,
they
yeah.
should trade Justin Fields for 2 draft picks and then draft Bryce Young.
Well, that can't hurt Chicago.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's
Chicago. Why would who's better, Bryce Young or Fields? I think you're in the same spot
Well,
you
what
were
you're gonna
this
have to
year.
do
I
is-
think
yeah.
it's an
With
equal
trying
trade
to
at this
get-
point.
You're gonna have to
Retrain him.
completely change your offensive scheme because this year for Fields, they've been more of a run team with him more than passing. He's ran all over.
Well, that's because he has a weak arm.
He has a decent arm.
Mm.
There's nobody around him. Like I can't even name a receiver for Chicago right
Well,
now.
they got Chase Claypool or whatever that kid's name is
I
for
think he's got a
Pittsburgh.
He
weak
just
arm
came
because
in.
it's just like what we saw in the national championship game. He ain't got on line.
Yeah, he was running for his life.
Oh, he always has.
I don't know. I don't know. Is it?
If it were me, I'd rather have Bryce Young than Justin Fields.
It's because you already got an experienced NFL quarterback. He's been through.
Now
a
he's
year.
got a season underneath his belt.
Yeah.
He's been there
is it
2
gonna-
years.
Is it going to
Yeah,
matter?
it's 2 years.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, he didn't show any difference from the beginning of the season to the end, but
No.
But then
he's
you
at
get
least had experience.
they got this mock draft going. Them taking Will Anderson, which is a pretty big pickup. So I don't
That
know
is a
if
big
it's-
pickup.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be worth it or not. You know,
If the Colts get C.J. Stroud, is that going to make any difference? Will he have any weapons?
They got Michael Pittman Jr.
it depends who the
That's
coach
about
is. They
True.
got this Jeff Saturday experiment that really screwed everything up because honestly,
Sam should
Sam should have been playing.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
started, and then they fired the coach, and then Jeff Saturday came in and said, "Nope, we're going back to Matt Ryan."
Because Sam was doing good.
They
Yeah.
were winning games.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here, not I'm a pastor and not coaching.
They
Right?
didn't win too many.
All I know
games.
is the Cowboys need to find a quarterback. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
still in
for sure.
college, so.
Like I said, the Packers are going to trade their draft picks anyway, so that's what they do every year.
Cowboys
hey,
are gonna
there's
trade
your
for,
A&M guy, though, down there, Brett.
I do. I know it.
Antonio.
Yeah, he's.
Cowboys
pretty
traded
good.
for the quarterback of Green Bay.
He was good until he got hurt.
Oh, they got him going to the Eagles
But
too?
If he can be a weapon for old Hurts, that'd be pretty dangerous too. But they're just weapon heavy.
Oh, yeah.
So
And the more you
Both
add
sides
to
of
it,
the ball. Both sides of the ball.
the more you add to it, the more dangerous they're going to get.
Yeah.
So.
I think they're gonna. Well, we'll talk about them later. They're gonna come back.
So we
Okay,
got
statement.
some college basketball.
Yeah.
I think this
That's
is a
the
little
wrong-
old.
that's the
Yeah,
wrong one.
I pulled the wrong
This
one.
is
That's on me.
old
That's the wrong one.
I didn't know. I haven't watched.
I'll quickly pull mine up real fast.
I haven't watched
ESPN.
enough college basketball to know what week we're in. So.
It's still new, and college basketball, it's games are lost weekly.
Oh,
by
yeah.
teams that are top shelf.
And that's
so-
gonna be the hard part of doing a podcast about college basketball because we're always gonna be so far behind. When
March Madness is really.
I'm
gonna be
psyched
the,
about March Madness.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
the focal point in terms of college basketball.
Baylor's not up there anymore.
Baylor is 1-3 in the Big 12 right now.
Ouch.
Ooh,
Is Kansas still number
took a
one?
heavy hit.
Kansas is number 1. Kansas State.
No, Houston's number one.
No, we're talking about Big 12 standings or regular standings.
I'm talking about top 25.
Let me pull that
Houston's number one.
up. Yeah, Houston is number 1.
Wow. Go Houston.
And then you got Kansas 2, Purdue 3, and Alabama 4, and Tennessee 5. So the SEC's
Wow.
been putting out some good teams too.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a few weeks.
Texas
ago.
is at 10, and Kansas State's at
Dude,
11.
would you think of anything else different?
I mean, they only got 2 teams, and we have 3 teams in the.
Always got to throw the SEC comments in there.
And by the way, when we join the SEC, I will not be chanting SEC because we are not that.
That's how it works.
I know y'all be going Longhorn Network.
No, that's going to be gone, actually. Thank goodness, because the broadcast is terrible on that
people that
network.
chant-
No doubt.
So I'll say this: I haven't watched a whole lot of Texas basketball, but I know they fired that head coach.
they did.
yeah.
Thank goodness. We
Yeah.
needed to. That was the right move.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what he'd been fired for until I looked it up the other day, and it was
Yeah.
he's been charged with 3rd-degree felony for family violence.
Yeah.
Charged.
Yeah, because
That's a
the
big difference,
fiance came
charged.
back and said, hey, I kind of jumped the situation.
So she's trying to recant her statement now.
She basically
Well-
did, but at the same time,
It's so bad. Domestic
Yeah.
violence cases are just crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, and the thing is if you're accused, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, you don't stand a chance.
And all the drunk crazy girlfriend has to do is tell the cops, "Hey, they did this to me."
Yep.
You're in cuffs, and you got to prove you're not.
Plus, you have to live in this immoral debacle of Austin. So it's a bad situation.
He was living in Terrytown. I don't know. He wasn't living in Austin. But yeah, I heard though that he has several other issues. So
At
he
least
has
it
some
wasn't.
anger issues for sure. So
At least Austin's not the 3rd world
Well, from
country.
the
Bryan
outside
College
looking in, I'd
Station.
say so.
let this be a lesson to all the young men out there listening to our podcast. Pick the right girl.
Yup.
don't put hands on a woman.
Don't pick a crazy girlfriend.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Wise words there.
Well, college basketball will be fun, but it's just going to take a while for it to kind of get some traction.
Till
'Cause
March.
It's just going to keep
Hey,
changing.
so
For sure.
It does.
while we're on the subject, I wanted to bring up college basketball. We're going to be doing a bracket challenge for the show. So it'll be us versus the listeners. And no, we're not going to have to keep track of it.
I want to see how many people are going to get involved for this.
All right.
Well, here's the
we
kicker.
got 2 brackets, guys.
Well, here's the kicker, though. You got to listen to the show. We're going to put the links on Facebook, and I'm going to throw in a $50 Amazon gift card to the winner.
$50, man. That's like 2 packages
So-
of diapers.
So you don't have to, because we did so great at keeping track of who won the NFL picking games.
No, we didn't even. We'll do that next year.
I
We'll keep
won.
track of it.
What if
I will,
I won?
I will
Oh,
pick
no,
the
I won.
underdog in every bracket.
Shh,
I'll
don't give away
that's
my
just what I've
You
tactic.
picked the
done.
Lions.
Man, my Lions. God bless the Lions.
So yeah, we'll as that gets closer, we'll post updates. I don't know what site we'll use, but there's
CBS is always a good one.
CBS that's
Yeah.
all. That's the real good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Because ESPN's is garbage.
Yeah, CBS is a good one.
So we'll probably use that one. But when we get that launched, we'll get to be following us on Facebook to get the link.
One shining moment.
Get your money.
Yeah. And
Get your
if
$50.
one of the
50
hosts
bucks.
wins, we're ineligible. So
What?
Whatever.
Got to go to a listener.
I'm doing mine anyway. Sometimes you. I'm picking
It's
So
to
now
be-
we're handing out participation trophies.
It's to be fair.
This is an
Well, how-
underdog year. It's going to be anybody. It's going to be like SFA or something.
That would be cool, though.
Like
They
it's
actually
going to be
can't, I
like
don't
that
think.
kind of caliber team.
Oh, speaking of,
SFA is out. They got 3 years.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
out.
they
They
did.
can't
For
put
the
their-
recruiting or
It's
something.
going to be like whenever
Recruiting
they-
violations.
Like,
Yeah.
who is this guy?
Yeah, and it's pretty bad when you're SFA and you have recruiting violations.
Pretty bad. Exactly.
he
Yeah.
gave me on a washer and a dryer.
I will say it's funny that they get those smaller schools, but they will not go after the bigger schools.
Not
Oh, yeah.
anymore. Not anymore.
Not anymore. They
That's what
won't.
I think is funny.
So
It's probably all the bigger schools. Will
Oh,
be
speaking of which, before
out.
we move off this, did you see the Florida quarterback recruit debacle?
we
oh yeah, we
that.
talked about that before we started the show.
Hit me with it.
Crazy.
I know what you're talking about, but yes, hit me with it.
So everybody
What's
else
it about?
knows.
Jalen Rashada, I believe is his name.
Yes.
He signed the NLI, the National Letter of Intent, not the NIL. But they had some issues with Florida's NILs, conglomerates, businesses, whatever, that help endorse and give money. Something fell through, and they wanted to kind of revoke their
Did
NLI.
you hear what happened with that? The Florida NIL guy promised him X, and they got back and signed the NLI and talked to the school, and then they asked when they're getting their money, and the school said, how much? And he goes, they go, ain't no way we're paying you that much money. And so
Wow.
apparently the NIL guy was over-promising everybody and
Wow.
doing all that without the school's permission.
Whoa,
So he could go to jail.
big time.
So that's at least a scuttlebutt going on right now
Wow.
on the boards. And so
NIL has
Awesome.
created a
Whoa.
different environment.
It sure has.
Man.
It's kind of sad, man.
because
It
everybody
is.
wants to jump on the family, they're not going, and they're going,
Yeah.
if that's what they were promised by this dude,
Yeah,
it's a dude's fault.
that is
Yeah.
true.
It ain't their
I will
fault.
say.
No doubt.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what the truth is, but we'll find out in a few weeks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But crazy.
I just hate it seems like it's taken away from the game now.
Oh, it has.
Oh, it is.
I mean, just
Well, when you
The
gotta
loyalty.
gotta
Yeah.
make sure your guys stay on board that are actually playing and catching and whatever else,
yeah.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what even Kirby said in one of the interviews. He said, after we won the championship last year, the day after, I'd have meetings with my juniors and my sophomores to make sure they weren't jumping the board and transfer portal, going somewhere else. It's like, man, they just won the national championship. Why would they want to
Yeah,
leave?
right.
10
Yeah.
years ago, they would be like, I'm staying.
Because they got one
But-
ring and they're good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
That's-
just crazy.
That's the madness that it's created. Is you got to go back and double check and make sure you're going to have the same guys that won you that national title.
Yeah, exactly.
That just
But they'll have 9 guys lined up to join.
oh yeah
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
But I mean, if your team just won a national title, why would you want to leave anyway?
And I don't blame you want to get out of Florida, do you? I mean, really.
I mean,
I think the NCAA is going to have to
It's
step
full
in
of-
and start putting some regulations on this NIL stuff, though.
Florida's full of old people and alligators.
Billy Napier, though, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
That's some good weather.
Yeah.
Not in Gainesville, though. Swamp.
Until hurricanes happen.
It is
say.
warm down there.
And then you wait 15 minutes and it's bad.
It's similar to Texas in that way.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to always say, "Don't like the weather in Texas. Wait 20 minutes, it'll change."
Didn't mean to jump in there, but let's go to NFL.
Oh yeah. Let's hit that. in.
NFL.
That's where it gets fun.
Okay, man. I'm just going straight into my lines because you talked about it a while ago. They had the perfect situation set up to where who was it?
They could join the playoffs.
So,
they could
yeah,
make
the way that it-
playoffs,
If
but we were waiting for
Here-
somebody to lose.
Seahawks.
Here's how it went.
Seahawks lost.
Here's
That's
how
what
it went.
was.
So, in order to get in, the Lions had to have the Seahawks
Lose.
tank,
Yeah.
and then they had to beat the Packers.
Right.
So, because the Seahawks beat the Rams, that
Mhm.
eliminated the Lions.
That's just, I felt so bad for them.
They tried to put it off on the broadcast. Well, they don't know. They don't know. I'm like, the game ended an
they
hour
don't.
before theirs started. I'm pretty sure they knew. I will give it to the head coach, though. He basically just told them, it's like, look, it's us or nobody. So,
Oh man. Anytime you can take somebody out of contention,
Yeah.
especially a team like the Packers that don't belong, I'm all for it.
Them
And
cheesers,
did
them
they come
cheesing over
through.
there.
yeah.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers looking like an old man, dude. He just did not do good.
Hey,
There was a lot of mistakes.
It's
by
like
the
a
Packers.
homeless old man.
Oh,
Yeah.
he
no
does,
doubt.
for real.
Jeez.
Man, and I told Quentin earlier before we started recording, I was like, man, I had the perfect soundbite prepared for when the Packers won and had to swallow that one because now it's no good. But
you swallowed that sound. Speaking of Florida, I hope Rodgers packs his bag, his little homeless bag, and moves down to Florida. That'd be great.
I would like him in Dallas over Dak, but just for 1 year.
He's only
lead
got
us to
2
the
years
ship.
left, and he's in a wheelchair.
I guarantee you he won't, because Mike McCarthy's in Dallas. He won't
Yeah,
go
I
there.
know.
He
That's what I
hates
told
McCarthy.
Quentin. That's what I told Quentin.
That's sad.
Hey,
He's the reason McCarthy's not in Green Bay right now.
McCarthy,
Yeah.
back-to-back, at least 12 win seasons.
Got to put
That's-
some respect
that's
on his
been a
name.
long time
You got to
since
put some
that's
respect on
happened.
his
Oh, yeah.
name.
That's pretty good. So,
And a first-round out.
Rodgers,
And-
you can
and-
take those 12 wins
And doing it under Jerry Jones.
under Jerry Jones. That's big. That's even bigger.
That's huge.
And
Yeah.
with Dak.
Yeah, with all the problems surrounding, they
He's
still won
stacking up
12
all these
games.
Hey, I mean,
negatives.
everybody's
Maybe
talking.
he's a world
Yeah, I
winner
mean,
coach.
he might be a genius.
I don't know about
Dak,
that.
he's leading in interceptions by
Dude,
far.
it's
The
so bad.
second half of this season has been just nightmarish.
I heard one of the only more famous players with more interceptions than him, Joe Namath, had 20 in a Super Bowl
Oh,
year.
yeah. Oh,
20.
Wow.
I thought
It is
20 interceptions. How did
Terrible.
you win?
Well, and they always talk about the second half because he was gone for four games in the first half of the season.
Yes.
Well, that's why they can't say the whole season. But yeah, it's pretty much the whole season.
he would have thrown 20 had he played the whole
no
season.
doubt.
No, for
Yeah.
real.
He
Easily.
would have set a high record that would probably never been broken,
And
even by
how?
Justin Fields.
How? He's got good receivers. Okay, I take it back. A couple of them are dropping off their hands. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple have bounced
That
off.
happens.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with where
not
he's placing
15 of them.
He's
But-
placing the ball in such terrible spots,
Bad.
behind, sideways. I mean,
He's
it's
got
just
too much of that hip thing going on.
Yeah, for real.
His
I mean, he
worst-
has
his little practice.
23 touchdowns, 23 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions.
Wow.
Bless it. He's probably going to the Broncos next then.
Hey, we'll
Hey,
trade
give me
straight up for
Russell.
Russell
Give me
Wilson.
Russell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Russell
That's not
Wilson
his
is
problem.
not the problem.
Man.
He's the most
Denver.
sacked quarterback in the league right now, actually.
Oh yeah, that offensive line
real.
is not doing him
He's
any
running for
favors.
his life.
Yeah, every play.
God,
But yeah, I mean,
listen.
I watched something the other day, and I forget what I was like. It was like 25 worst plays in the NFL this season. And
Dak
like,
was 24 of them.
Yeah, no doubt.
no, he was three. He was three. Two of them came from the same game,
Oh, wow.
but they were 1 and 2.
Jaguars game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That one where it was like the last 2 minutes of the game, and he threw that one down the sideline, and it got intercepted.
Why Kellen? That's calling Kellen Moore though.
And
calling
then
a pass play
yeah,
instead of running down the clock.
Have you heard that somebody's interviewing Kellen Moore?
Oh, really?
for a coaching
I
job.
think it was Houston,
And
Texas.
last year they were interviewed.
Oh yeah, because Houston cut Lovey loose, didn't they?
Yeah.
he was interviewed last year. I remember they were pursuing him last year, and he ended up staying.
I hope the Packers get a new defensive coordinator because that guy's garbage.
Yeah, I don't think they can just empty out the stadium right now, though.
I will say
It's
though,
I mean, they might.
garbage.
Kellen Moore
For their
has.
fans.
We've had a pretty good offense under him this year, even though there's been some spotty play calls. We
Well-
averaged 27 points per game, and the opposition, like the average, is 20 points per game.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
averaging.
No, they've got us
Decent.
ahead in
Yeah.
several categories, and that's why they always talk about Dak having such good stats. But in the end, Dak's not putting the ball where it's supposed to be. Or
How much longer is he locked in for?
3 more years, I think. I think it was like a 4 or 5 year contract.
I'm sorry, it was the Jags. It's the Jags, not the Texans.
Oh, okay.
Jags interview.
That'd be big.
I would take that job.
Got Trevor
Man,
Lawrence.
They're
and
doing a pretty
Jags
decent
are coming
turnaround
up.
This last part
Doug
of the
Peterson.
season,
He's a
too.
good coach, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a loss, I would think.
Oh,
With
easily.
what they're doing right now. Man, Trevor
Would that be
Lawrence-
considered a downgrade though if Jags got Kellen Moore from what they
That's
currently
what I'm
have?
saying. I think it'd be a lot.
I don't know. He brings some good things, but he also brings some bad things. So
brings-
it depends on the day he's
You gotta-
coaching.
There are
You
some
gotta
stinking
outweigh it.
bonehead plays that he's called. I'm going, what are you doing? Their third down plays they're 5 yards from the sticks.
Yeah, is it him calling the plays, or
Yeah.
is it being checked?
It don't matter. Why is any receiver going 5 yards from the sticks?
Oh yeah,
See,
no,
that's-
no, you're right. But it could be a check down play instead. It could be Dak checking him down and saying, "Don't do this. Cut in," so that maybe he can try to run a slant to get the first down. In
Well, if
the
that's the
middle.
case,
I don't
fire
know.
Dak.
Well, see, that's the issue
yeah.
that's the issue with Packers and Rodgers is they'll call a play and Roger gets up there and you'll hear him check it down immediately as soon as he hits the line
Right.
because his phrase is kill, and then
Yeah.
you hear it every single play.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, what'd you kill? Like take the Detroit Lions game. Detroit had the worst rushing defense in all of the NFL,
Then you run it.
and you didn't run it.
Yeah.
You got one of the
your
best running
star
backs.
running back
Yeah.
averaged 65 yards that entire game.
Yeah. Well,
Even though some of the
I
two
mean, they
biggest
did run it. They
Time to
ran it
start
65 yards.
finding them.
yeah.
Find them.
And so it was just but that's Rodgers is notorious for that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of kill, Old DeMar made it back.
Amen.
Golly, man, that's harsh.
that
That
was-
is
that
harsh. Oh, my word.
Well, we didn't die. So, I mean, I will
That
give
was
you
a
credit.
terrible transition.
That's what you call a segue right there, boy.
That was a terrible segue.
Nah, he is back in Buffalo, man. Like, what a turnaround.
Man, that's been the coolest thing I've ever seen in the NFL.
Oh man,
Finally
so
doing something right.
I've been kind of
Yeah.
catching some flack. So I haven't posted. I don't really like to post pictures of my young kids on Facebook. It just kind of makes me nervous. I have
Yeah,
some up
for
there,
sure.
but I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
Your mom
my
does.
family, my mom and wife does it.
They do it enough for you.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'm not just a fan of it. But I started seeing this, and I'm like, this guy has single-handedly reversed these last seems like 4 years of just controversial stuff that's nonstop in NFL. Don't you pray? I mean, Tim Tebow massacred for praying by himself, and now here we have two teams coming together praying. Not just that night, but now we had the Jaguars and whoever they just played, and they got together and they prayed as well
before
This
the
is
game.
An amazing thing that happened
Yeah.
on top of his recovery, not his injury, of course, but we can get into conspiracy theories on that stuff. But they're definitely talking about the players are talking about the jab, and because Buffalo's 100% compliant with getting that jab,
They had to in New York State.
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I was watching that
Kyrie?
game, and
It was freaky
like to see him take that hit and then get up and then just immediately fall.
because it wasn't a hit.
No, it wasn't. And that's the thing is everybody was like, "Oh, it was the hit." I was like, that hit didn't cause that.
If it was a hit,
They get hit like that all the
And
time.
You know
He
how I
wouldn't have got
know? You know how I know that it wasn't the hit? Because the doctors didn't come out on Tuesday and go, "Hey, we done some tests and we think it was the hit right there at the wrong time." And it was just one of those kind. They haven't said. I've seen no doctors anywhere say anything about his injury.
Yeah.
So what it's referring to is it's called commotio cordis.
Correct.
It's when you get hit and
In
the
between
perfect
beats.
timing to
Yeah.
make your heart stop. Right.
Mhm.
Whenever it stopped.
But it's usually directly on the heart, and it's got to be like a high-speed projectile. So it could be a punch, but it's more likely like a baseball or something getting hit in your chest, not a side hit from your shoulder. You know what I mean? Like or like it's all over your body where his surface area was just all. It wasn't just focused in one area; it was all displaced.
He didn't
throughout his
land
whole body.
head on his chest, jumping on,
Right.
And you got
not
pads.
diving into him.
Right.
If he was diving into him on the ground, I could
different.
see something like that.
But even that has never happened.
It's got to
in
be the
NFL.
right time and right place. But they got the shoulder pads down past there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They got pads.
So and then anybody to survive CPR because they were doing CPR. And they didn't have the best personnel on the field either. I mean, this was an athletic trainer and EMTs. That little ambulance that came out, that's usually just like a transfer ambulance.
Yeah, it wasn't a real ambulance.
They're correct, because they just get paid to sit there and watch because nothing ever
In
happens.
case somebody breaks their leg.
That's it. It's just a transfer to the hospital. So they're not normally involved in any kind of 911 kind of stuff.
It was just team trainers, baby.
I'm telling you, they came out, they
Shout
did
out to 'em.
CPR, got him, and I think he crashed again at the hospital.
He
if I
did.
remember
Correct.
right. And then they still, that is amazing.
And they did defibrillator
Yeah.
at the field.
Yep. So, okay.
I'm sorry.
Siri.
Siri
Well, it was like-
wants to join in on this conversation.
I watched a video, and I don't know. I was trying to find it, but I can't find it again. But it was of the radio talk after that happened, and they were radioing for the trainers and stuff like that. And then the trainer got out there and was like, "We need everybody." Calling for the ambulance and
Well, you have doctors that are there. You have doctors on each team. They're usually
Concussion doctors too, neurologists.
right, because they're constantly watching for the concussion protocol stuff, so they can pull those players out, send them to that tent, so they can be checked out and either cleared or they got to sit. And
unless you're Tua.
I was going to say that.
and then you got Tua.
But I mean, it was
poor
just
guy.
heart wrenching to watch, like the looks on the player's face.
Wouldn't you want to be Troy Aikman and Joe Buck?
Nope.
They just kept saying, we have nothing to say, so we're going to send it to New York. Like they just
They
kept
didn't.
pushing.
They
What
knew.
do you say?
They
Yeah,
saw-
you can't say anything.
Oh no, I would hate to be in their situation where they are seeing stuff, being told not to say stuff, and then they're like, "Okay, what do you want me to do?"
You
They
know, the
were so
producers were going,
conflicted.
don't talk
Oh,
about
no
it.
doubt.
So you think they had somebody in their ear saying,
Oh,
"Hey,
for-
we're not going to mention anything"?
There's people all over the field watching from the field level that could see it. We couldn't see it from the stands. and there's the players circled up because they knew what was going on. They saw him doing CPR on him immediately.
Well, and I think that they'll actually, instead of them saying that we're not going to play this game, the word was coming back that y'all better start warming up because y'all are about to go back on
That's
the field
from
and play.
The NFL thought that.
Yeah.
Until they talked to the players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
then
players said,
like,
we
no.
ain't playing.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Because it was Sean McDermott that took it to his team that was like, and they're like, no, we're not doing this.
But Sean McDermott wasn't going to play either. He was just doing what he wanted to do is get back up.
And Cincinnati's coach too is like, man, let's just call. I don't think this is right, man. It was class act on both sides.
It was absolutely.
But the NFL, okay,
Dude, amazing.
NFL, call it a tie.
Yeah,
done.
Exactly.
They didn't do anything.
No,
That's the NFL for you, though.
Yeah,
Roger Goodell.
Yeah, that guy's useless.
If somebody goes down on the field with that kind of deal, you can't play.
No. Guy almost
I mean,
died.
because none of the players would be into it.
No.
I mean, because even if they went to the locker room, like, all right, we're going to warm up 5 minutes. Those players were like, I ain't going back out there. So.
And how do you do that? When those guys get so jacked to start the game.
And then because he was down, they were doing stuff for like what 10, 15 minutes.
No, 30, 40.
Was it longer than that?
They were on the field for a while. I know that they.
I would say about 20, 25
I was
minutes.
watching it.
Because even at that point, I mean, those players are no longer.
I think
They're not
they're
there.
ice cold at that
Yeah.
point.
They're crying, dude.
They
They're
were trying
crying.
to
Yeah.
just load him up after 15 minutes, and then they were still in the ambulance for several more, and then they took
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
So
They were
it was
crying.
wild.
It was crazy.
But it was, I mean, some of the stuff that's come out as far as like what the Cincinnati organization did for his family,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is amazing.
Yeah.
And then to see that following weekend, the outpour, everybody changing the threes on the field to Buffalo colors.
Well, they did a fundraiser as well for
Oh,
his business that he was wanting to start or something.
He had a charity that was
Yeah.
for underprivileged kids where they gave them toys, and it was, I think his last count's like $8.5 million.
And it was like 200,000.
Yeah, to start off with. So
That's crazy. That's awesome.
But the guy's not even, the guy's making the league minimum, I think. It's not, they're not even that.
this year has been his year though. He started coming on real hard and heavy.
But now he's not in his year where he doesn't have no vested in the league. So he's.
Well, Buffalo's already said they're going to pay him his full salary for however long he's going to be out. So
Is he coming back?
that hasn't been announced yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying if you
know.
don't come back, what do you do? That's just like, so the
think they
NFL's so
just
screwed up with that. I
feel
mean,
so
if you get in the
bad.
league, you're in the league. And what if you get a debilitating injury the first year you're there?
Yeah.
So Warren Sapp, I just saw a video on him talking about how terrible health insurance is for all those guys, and that after 5 years you're done.
Yes.
You get nothing. And who is going to insure a busted up NFL player?
Yeah.
That's just nonsensical. Because
I can't believe they can't get together in some pool and have some kind of a special.
Well, you think the Players Association would get something?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but hopefully this is a start for them, and I mean, more power to them. I hope they get it taken care of.
Yeah, there's
So,
gotta be
people-
something to
that's
protect those
people's
guys.
families, you know.
Yeah.
But
And you think about all the old players. I've got a reel that I found on Facebook of Terry Bradshaw coming into the stadium. Have you seen that one?
yeah.
He comes in an old
The truck.
74
Yeah.
Ford pickup,
Yeah.
just an old beater.
Yeah.
And the guy comes. The guy has a army helmet on, and, like a
MP, like a military
crazy.
police.
And he goes,
Wow.
"Hey, here comes Terry Bradshaw," and he goes, "Hey, Terry, how you doing, man?" And high five, and he goes,
talking
"Go on, man, get in there." It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty-
crazy.
It's just,
Such different times, man.
Yeah.
Now it's crazy.
So did y'all see Luca come in his cowboy hat?
oh
Christmas
yeah.
Day?
That's
Did y'all know?
Do you know the
that came
background
back-
behind it?
Huh? The Dude Perfect? Is that what you're
Yes,
getting
I
to?
watched that
That's
episode.
what I was about to talk about.
it.
Yeah, so Dude Perfect actually got with him before this started and kind of gave him pretty much some Dude Perfect challenges or ideas for him to do this. Like, come in, put on your cowboy hat, and then what was he supposed
He
to
has
say?
to talk
Have
about a horn frog, a horn toad,
A horn toad.
and then he has to say like two other words. I can't remember
Yes.
exactly, and he slipped them in somehow, some
Oh,
way.
And he was so good. It was like Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
How about
Dude
that?
Perfect and Luca. I
Well,
loved it.
he wore the boots. They said you have to wear these boots on Christmas Day. I want them on Christmas Day, and he said I'll do it. And he showed up in his cowboy hat, his little,
it was so great.
and they said, "Why'd you wear that?" He said, "Because I'm Texan."
Awesome.
And he said, "Yeah,
That's
and I
so
have a horn
awesome.
frog toad as well, you know."
I love it. I love it.
So cool,
He passed
man.
the Texas test so that they gave him.
Yeah.
They're saying, "What's better, Whataburger or In-N-Out?" He says, "I know this is In-N-Out, so I know it's Whataburger," and stuff like that. It was
That's
just
funny.
he's becoming a Texan man. I
He's-
love Luca.
Man, and he is so good,
No,
man.
dude.
He is just so good.
It's like watching Dirk early. I got early in his career.
Yeah.
We forget how good Dirk was. Same thing.
Because Dirk could handle the ball
Same
too.
thing.
I miss Dirk.
Luke is going to have his statue,
It's the same thing.
and it's going to be right across from Dirk's. I
Yes.
mean,
And he's kind of the same
They're good
demeanor.
guys.
Like he's just laid back and
They're
he's
good
good. He's
guys.
nice to everybody and he's respectful. And
It's because he's from a different country.
that's right.
probably
Like, he's not respectful
privileged
necessarily
in
on the
that
court 'cause
American way.
He's a little bit whiny,
You got to.
yeah.
and I would too. You know,
when
like,
you're 6'9", you're point guard and you get hacked
Dude,
and they don't
he's-
call it the
No
same.
respect. No
he,
respect.
he is so good,
Yeah, it's
man.
awesome.
I'm glad he's a Maverick, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Playoffs. Playoffs.
Actually, we got to backtrack. We completely skipped over draft picks for. I did a lot of research on this for y'all.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, hit it, DJ. Give it to us.
All right, so
And that concludes our draft picks. Let's move on to the.
Because it don't matter because all
We
they
don't
got to
know
do is have
who's
one
gonna-
trade and all that.
Yeah.
Reason
Yeah.
is done.
well, this is as of today. So I went back and I looked at the top 3 positions that both the Cowboys and the Packers need to fill, and based on what I found, the top 3.
Quarterback's not on there.
No, it's not, and I don't know why, but it's not on there for either one of them. From everything that I've seen, they're looking for a cornerback, a wide receiver, and a linebacker. This is for the Cowboys. They have 3 picks early on in the draft. So round 1, they're picking 25, round 2, 57, and round 3, 89.
I expect Jerry Jones to trade off the bottom 2 picks and to get the quarterback from Kentucky.
I mean, it's
that's
a
not gonna
possibility,
happen.
I'll
but
take it.
from all the articles that I've read, the consensus is they're if he's available, they're going to go after Noah Stilwell, linebacker out of Oregon.
Who?
Noah
who is?
Stilwell, the Cowboys.
No.
Why is he not on the list?
He's on the list, but this is off their big board. That's as it stands right now. This is who they think they're going after. But on the Cowboys big board is Noah Stilwell.
Who's that?
He's a linebacker out of Oregon. But the bad thing about it is because they grade all these incoming draft picks,
Mhm.
and this guy's grades are anywhere from a C to an F.
We don't need a linebacker.
Does
though.
Oregon have linebackers?
No.
They have offensive
Yeah, I'm
players.
going. Come on.
Yeah.
That's all they got is uniforms and quarterbacks, isn't
But
it?
that's only if he's available. So if he's not available, then it moves down to they're going
I'll
to
call Jerry Jones time he's not available.
then they're going to go.
Don't pick him. It's a Pac-12 linebacker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not
Unless
going
you're
to
from
be.
USC,
Yeah.
you're not any good.
Yeah. So if he's not,
Or Utah. Sorry,
Utah.
Utah. I didn't mean to. Utah's stinking
Or
good.
Washington.
they have the round 1 pick, Joey Porter Jr., who's cornerback out of Penn State. I don't know how to say this.
Hey, I'll say our cornerbacks have been giving up a ton of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They've been
we
getting
ain't got
burned.
Nobody.
We
no.
traded away Byron Jones like 2 years ago, which is the dumbest move ever.
This Joey Porter Jr., he has a draft grade of a B right now. So
That's for
Take it
Penn
for what
State,
it's worth.
You know,
Yeah.
I just
I don't know how to say this next guy's name. Sayaka.
Sia, he's a singer, ain't he?
Siaka
Didn't he
Ika.
sing?
Yeah, that's it.
Siaka Ika from Baylor.
So they're projecting him at the round 2 pick.
Why are we going after defensive players when
And then they also have Drew Sanders in
The
round
best
3.
you got is a DL from Baylor on the second round.
Yeah.
we need receivers to back up CD
This
Yeah.
is messed up.
and we need a quarterback?
See,
There's
that's
your
the
Throw
draft.
it to him.
Yeah.
that's also the problem with the Packers is their top 3 spots they don't have a quarterback either.
But they still got Smith and Jigma. That's
Yeah.
he's like the best one out there.
Yeah,
dude.
that's
What pick do y'all have in terms of y'all 15th?
15th.
Jordan
We've-
Battle, he's good too.
Yeah.
So
But why
yeah,
they got us picking some Baylor?
And they got
wash up?
Darnell Washington from
Yeah,
tight
come
end from
on.
Georgia, the 6'7".
well,
guy?
actually, he's on there, but the main guy they're teeing
But
in
I don't-
on is what is that kid's
They
name?
need the other tight end. From
Michael
Georgia.
Mayer out of Notre Dame is who they're teeing off on.
He's
Who
all
is
right,
that?
too.
Is he a tight end?
Yeah, he's
Give me the Georgia guy.
Yeah.
they
That's what I'm
could,
saying.
well
They need
they compared him to Bowers of Georgia. Bowers had 52 catches, 726 yards. Mayer had 67 catches for 809 yards.
Darnell Washington he's an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Is that Packers need a quarterback, but I guarantee you they're going to do the exact same thing they did when they drafted Jordan Love. They're going to trade the farm for a quarterback who can't really do anything. But I hope it stays where it's at and they get that receiver out of Ohio State because that would add a lot. Even Jordan Battle would help because Cowboys are in the Packers are in the same position with the Cowboys are. That secondary just get burned all the time. So
Yeah.
I mean, you could go out and get Derek Carr because the Raiders don't want him anymore for some reason, which is the dumbest thing ever.
Which is funny because you spent all that time trying to get Devontae Adams, and now
You spent all that time trying to get an offensive-minded coach and Josh McDaniels, and then after 1 year, he's no
Josh
good.
McDaniels.
He's no good anymore.
We knew he wasn't any good. He was in Denver.
man, I don't care at this point because after watching Aaron Rodgers against the Lions, I'm done with him. Like, you threw an interception when you had a receiver streaking down the middle of the field. I mean, you missed 2 wide open guys that could have potentially put two touchdowns on the board, but because he's a rookie, you didn't look his way. So, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, don't care at this point. I'll even
Dak
take
Prescott.
I'll draw the line there. I'll draw the line there.
We'll trade you
Straight
Dak
up.
for Aaron.
We'll straight up trade for 2
We'll
years.
give you Jerry and Dak.
I'll take Brock Purdy at this point.
Who wouldn't?
Oh, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
So
All right, we got some NFL playoff picture real quickly that we're going to go over.
So
You got any predictions here? Just not every game. Just
Buffalo's going to win
Oh, we can hit everything. So Buffalo against the Dolphins.
because
Well,
the
hey,
Dolphins, Tua's not playing.
let's
Well-
go in order. So I got the schedule here. Y'all ready?
Oh, I was going on the.
I was going by the score screen here and
Oh.
top to bottom.
Well, yeah, it kind of goes that same way. But
Okay.
so Saturday, the 14th, you got Seahawks at 49ers.
Seahawks and 49ers.
49ers, man. They're on
Yeah,
a hot
I mean,
streak.
Seahawks are struggling. They were just
They're on a
struggling.
hot
They
streak.
just scraped.
And Gino is not he's done.
Oh yeah.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's
but
done.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
all he's.
That's his
not
max.
right.
That's his.
So
level.
according to the bigwigs, the only thing that Seattle has going in their favor right now is the 49ers have a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
That's all they got going for them.
that has a high standard.
But he's playing good.
And he's got a good head on his shoulders too.
he's playing really good.
Yeah. So
The next game is going to be good.
you got
I'm sorry, I'm not going by the screen here.
they're calling this Super Wild Card Saturday because I guess they're playing 2 games.
No, they're playing 4 games.
Is it
on
4
Saturday.
games? Oh, it is. No.
But it's 3 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, and then
Am I missing a game?
3 and 3, 3 and 3. Because
So
the
you
Cowboys
got-
play Sunday night. I'm sorry, Monday night.
Yeah. So you got the Chargers
3-2-1.
at the Jaguars. That's gonna be it.
Trevor Lawrence is hot right now.
Jaguars.
but
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Jaguars.
Yeah, but Herbert.
He's
Yeah.
good, but
I think Trevor Lawrence is
Jaguars
better.
are making this huge push this last part of the season. They've got a lot of momentum going their way.
I think they're 6-1.
But
in
the
their
bad
last
thing
7.
is whoever it is gets to play Kansas City next week, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
well, correct.
But
And if you look at it,
picking the Jags,
Trevor Lawrence probably going to get a haircut that week. But still.
then he'll no longer be sunshine.
After Kansas City plays Ring Around the Rosies.
Yeah.
that was crazy.
So if you look at it, this is a rematch of Week 3, and the Jaguars beat a 14 favorite Chargers 38-10. Trevor Lawrence threw for 3 touchdowns, and they put up a total of 413 yards
Yeah, he's
offense.
getting good. He's getting
and
good.
the Chargers don't have a great defense.
They don't.
So
Yeah,
they could be feasting.
I don't know. I
They
just
could be
really feel like the
feasting.
Jaguars are picking up on something that they've been trying to work on, and the chemistry's getting right.
I will say,
yeah, they're getting hot at the right time.
Kansas City better be ready to play though.
I got the Chargers.
I think they will be.
I'm gonna take the
I hope they will
Jaguars.
be.
It's hard to root
Yeah.
against old Andy Reid, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's got it going on.
What's the next game, DJ? Because it's not on the board here.
You got the Dolphins at the Bills. So the
Yeah,
big one,
Bills.
Emotionally,
yeah,
I was talking to one of my buddies, and he said, he said the difference maker is if DeMar would have died or not. That's how he is in his mind.
Oh, yeah.
He said
It would have collapsed
because-
them. It would have collapsed them.
Right.
yeah.
So with his recovery, he's saying look, they're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl
No, it'd
because
be,
they have such an emotional ride.
Yeah.
Could be.
They'll beat out the Chiefs again,
I
Yep.
don't-
and
yeah, I
they'll
don't
make
know.
it all the way to the Super Bowl. That's what he
The
thought.
Bills and Chiefs are definitely going to be there. It's going to be tough. It'll be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got a winner.
Don't count out the Bengals though. First of all,
That's a whole nother thing.
we'll get to that in a second.
So I know Tua's out.
Yeah, Tua's out.
Is Bridgewater still out?
They're playing Skylar Thompson, is what I've heard.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw that
that-
on ESPN last
Yeah,
night.
I know. I was like, what?
Skylar Thompson from Kansas
Kansas
State.
The Bills got this all day long.
Yeah.
So
All right, what's the next game?
Giants at the Vikings.
That's a tough game.
The Giants have been playing well.
Man,
Daniel
Minnesota's
Jones?
gave up some really big games.
Yeah.
Crazy. I
I
know.
know.
Some big games,
I
they gave
know.
them up.
I know.
But then
I mean, the
the
Cowboys drove them.
But
Whoever they play is going to – it doesn't matter. If it's the Giants or the Vikings, they will get decimated in the next game.
Why?
They will get destroyed
that's
and pummeled
By this-
in the next game.
Who they-
Niners?
The 49ers?
If it,
yeah,
they will get
I don't know.
decimated.
I don't know.
because 49ers are playing good, man.
so you want
Yeah, but,
an interesting fact on this? This is Minnesota's first home playoff game since the Minneapolis Miracle in 2018. I don't know what that.
18?
Yeah.
Wasn't that long ago, was
Four
it?
I know
years.
I don't know what the Miracle was. I tried to look it up, and I don't know what it was, but
Well, this is their first time they've been.
I'm
in this
going-
situation, wearing red
Last
shorts,
week.
hey dudes.
right.
I think I got.
That was just thrown in there. That's free.
I think I'm going to take Minnesota on this one.
I'm going against. I want the Giants just because I don't like Minnesota.
I want the Giants, but
It doesn't
think
matter.
Minnesota.
Whoever they're going to
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
all right, we
Uh,
got Dallas and Tampa.
No, you skipped one, sir. You got the Ravens at the Bengals.
I'm going in order.
I know exactly.
I'm going in order on the screen, sir.
So
Correct. You have hodgepodge all over this screen that you put up.
yeah, but I'm going.
Our viewers can't see this, but it is.
I'm
like,
going
we're
in order of how
and
the
then
games
he's
are
going
actually
on-
going.
Yeah, he's going on times. Is what he
Yeah.
Bengals will win.
Is Lamar Jackson cleared yet? Have they cleared?
No, he's
Ravens
not. He didn't
versus-
practice all week.
Ravens versus Bengals. You
Okay.
said
Yeah.
Bengals by
Bengals 54.
21 at
54.
least.
54 to 0.
Yeah.
65 to 7.
You're gonna go national title score.
I love it.
Then you got the Cowboys at the Buccaneers.
Ooh.
All right. So
Tom Brady is not lost to
Yeah.
the Cowboys.
He will.
But-
he
so
will.
if the Cowboys want to advance the divisional round, they got to do something they've never done,
But the bad thing
Not
is,
throw an interception.
is to beat Tom Brady. They're 0-7
the
all
bad
time.
thing is they got to play the Buzzsaw Eagles if they win.
It
Yep.
don't
I was
matter.
telling Quentin, I said, why and how in the world? Looks like to me that you take the conference winner gets the bye, and then it reseeds
Yeah.
according to your
win-loss record.
win-loss record.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But now we got to play some stupid thing with them because they won their division at 6-6 or
they're
whatever they were.
8-9. 8-9.
Yes.
8-9.
They had a losing record and they won this stinking division and they're ranked ahead of us. What the what? Who
So,
did this?
I think the NFL needs to enact a rule like if you're top seed in your conference and you still have a losing record, you don't make the playoffs.
well, that's because this is
It's terrible.
everybody gets a
It's
trophy.
absolutely
garbage.
terrible. Like you want to put the best product out there. Stop putting losing teams
The
in the
divisions
playoffs.
are causing divisions.
They are exactly.
So who you have winning it all?
Well, like,
What?
Super Bowl.
Oh, we ain't going there yet.
Why not?
well, I mean, who do I want? I want the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I want the
of course.
Cowboys, but
But that doesn't
Man.
mean that's what's going to happen.
Okay, the Cowboys.
Oh, Cowboys ain't gonna make it
Cowboys-
past the first round.
Yeah, they beat Tampa Bay. Eagles is gonna be tougher, but I think they win there too. I think they lose to San Francisco.
Okay.
yeah, I think San
That's
Francisco is
pretty
going to be in the
smart
Super
line.
Bowl. I think San Fran is, but at the same time, you got Brock Purdy, rookie QB in the playoffs.
They're just playing.
If San Francisco makes it to the Super Bowl, Buffalo will win their first Super Bowl.
True.
If they beat
San
Kansas City.
Francisco.
I think Buffalo's going to go to the Super Bowl. I think
Buffalo is emotionally
Yeah.
high right now.
they got that emotional charge that win one for
you
the
got
Gipper
Joe
situation.
Cool, Joe Burrow too.
Who is San Francisco's tight end? He's a beast. Kittle. Yeah.
Kittle. Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
And that's what they're gonna. That's what's gonna take them to the championship.
Well, we know Kansas City is going to be in the championship because they got an easy route. All they had to do is beat the Jaguars or Chargers, and then they're in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, they got the easiest
Playing the
road.
Bills.
So then you got the Bills and the Bengals, in my opinion, that are going to be
Bills are gonna
in
win.
their divisional championship.
I think the Bills will
I
take
think
the
the Bills are
Bengals.
going to take the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's going
I want them to.
Like Brett said, that's an emotionally charged team. They're
But
going to be hard
The
to beat.
Bengals are one of the hottest teams right now, too, though.
It doesn't matter. Everything starts over when you're in the
It's
playoffs.
The Bills.
That's what's so beautiful about this time of year and playoffs.
Yeah. I just like
Everything
stirring the
resets.
pot.
So I got for the championship season week, which we'll have another podcast for Super Bowl.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I got the Bills and Kansas City and San Francisco and the Cowboys.
Cowboys going to beat the Eagles?
No.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's
I
what
said
that's,
that earlier.
Yeah,
Wow.
he said that.
With Dak?
That's
or
That's what I
or is
said.
Dak going to get hurt and Cooper Rush come in? save
That's
the
a
day?
brave
That's
statement,
what I
sir.
said.
I'm going to say Jalen Hurts gets hurt in the first quarter.
I think so. I think he's
Cowboys
not
win.
well. He's not well.
If
He's
he-
not
if
as
he
he's
gets
not as
hurt,
well as they
Cowboys will
say
win.
he is. Yeah, he's definitely not as well as they say he is.
If
But-
Cowboys get to the NFC Championship, I think they could go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, they can. They
Well, I
can.
think they
I'm
will.
just
They
picking
can, but
San
they won't.
Francisco.
But we got to beat Tampa. We got to beat Tampa.
Something
Because
something that
Brady.
We
they've
got to beat the Brady first.
something they've never done.
There's a
After-
big goat standing in their way.
After they beat Philadelphia, Dak's gonna fall apart again. That's just where I'm at.
I don't think they're going to beat Philadelphia though.
He's streaky though.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to
When
win
he's
these two,
on,
and
he's
then
on.
Because even without Jalen
He's going to
Hurts,
win these two. Then he's going to streak.
So the streaks, I think, has been they've lost a game, 1-2, lost a game, 1-4, lost a game, 1-2. And they said, since we just lost our last game, if we can win the next 4, we win the Super Bowl.
Hey, there you go. He's
Let's
streaky.
go streak.
It can happen.
that's a big what if.
So
A big what if.
Who's streaking? Is it Dak or Jerry Jones?
That's my
Sorry.
son.
Oh man.
Gross.
Sorry.
I just don't see it, man. I could see the Cowboys beating
That's
Tampa
because
Bay.
you're a cheesehead.
I'm thinking about this logically. I'm done with the Packers, but I can see them beating Tampa Bay.
Because
I don't see them beating
the
the
one
Eagles.
thing the Cowboys do have, CeeDee Lamb.
There's
and they got
that.
tight ends.
That's it.
Well,
And they got running back. They got Pollard. They got Pollard and Ezekiel.
If
They got
if they'd
they
run
got the
Pollard,
offense.
if they'd run Pollard more than Zeke, I think they'd be better off.
Zeke's the bull, dude. Zeke
If
is
it's
the bull.
3rd and 5, I
And-
want Zeke running 3rd and 5. If it's 1st and 10, I want Pollard running
Yeah.
1st and 10.
Pollard's the cheetah, and Zeke is the
Pollard's
bull.
the rhinoceros.
So for me, I think it's going to be Bills and Chiefs in the championship, and Eagles and the Niners.
That's a good pick. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's if Brock Purdy can
It's
stay
wrong,
hot.
but it's good.
yeah.
So what about you,
listeners,
Brett?
I'm gonna say it's Chargers and the Ravens and the Seahawks.
Those are
Brady. Brady's going to win another Super Bowl, baby.
Brady's gonna win another one.
Those are terrible
He's going
picks.
to have to pay for his divorce.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
ouch. He's gonna lose
Gotta
it.
get another one since it gave them all away.
He's gonna lose another ring.
Should we have our listeners comment? If you can comment, I don't know. Comment on Facebook and tell us
Yeah, we can put it out there.
who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I
Who do you
think I'm directly on board with Craig.
Spiritual leadership, brother.
Thank you for that.
You going Buffalo?
So what do you?
So yeah, Buffalo. And
Okay.
No, you know what? It's going to be Buffalo versus Kansas City, no
Mhm.
doubt. And I'm going to root for my hometown boy, Nick.
Yeah.
And my homies.
And Nick, man, go ahead and get your ring, Nick. Nick, I'm going to say Nick's going to get him a ring.
That'd be cool.
That would be
Think
cool.
Kansas City's going to win?
I can't. push
It'll
up.
most
I
likely
can't-
be Kansas City and the 49ers if
Yeah.
they can. If something happens weird with the Eagles and the Cowboys
So
win.
you're saying that Kansas City
So-
loses to the Bills?
No, he's saying Kansas City beats
I'm
the
saying
Bills.
Kansas City wins it all.
I will say this.
That's what I'm saying. Kansas City. I'm sorry.
The
Bills lose to Kansas City.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Kansas
on for
City,
that
Kansas City, and Buffalo will be a good game no
because
matter what.
Kansas City has Buffalo's
To
number
me,
in the
and
playoffs.
Here's
the
my
past 2
thing
years.
too. The AFC Championship is going to win it,
Correct.
no matter who it is. If
There's
it's
more-
Buffalo or if it's KC.
I agree.
Those
I
are two
believe, though,
stout
if-
teams.
I believe if Buffalo can keep that fire going for
Yeah.
DeMar, they're going to be unstoppable.
I mean, we'll see how much.
But the problem is with emotions,
Yeah, it can go either way. You can be over emotional and not get anywhere.
and that is still 4 weeks away.
Or it can just
four.
dry out.
Yeah,
That's 4 games away.
I mean, at least the first round, they'll have an easy game against Miami. So,
Interesting time. Interesting time.
yep, can't wait. It'll be fun.
They better start praying.
Speaking of interesting times, and
Speaking
speaking
of
of
prayer.
DeMar, read an article this week. Kind of an odd thing, but really not. But it was odd where I found it. Popular Mechanics magazine ran an article said, "Is death real?" What? I mean, I know that's how they wanted to get your to read the thing. I'm going.
Death real.
I guess you don't know until you die.
I guess you've never been to a
business, Popular Mechanics.
funeral. First of all, I thought, why is Popular Mechanics writing about this?
Yeah,
More-
they're outside their lane at that point.
Yeah.
They are, but I read the article too. The article is about it's a medical ethics article about life support and those kind of things. That people can actually stay alive longer on life support. And just because somebody's brain waves aren't working, does that mean they're not dead? And da da da. I'm going, yes.
I mean, if you
If
got
you're-
machines doing the work for you,
Exactly.
Yeah. If they're a vegetable for
Can you
quite
say
some
that?
time. I'm giving some crazy eyes right now.
Face over here is beautiful.
The Lord knows.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's my answer. The Lord knows.
Yeah, our medicines and the technology we have can really boost heart rate for a long time. And we have this thing called a Lucas device we carry that is just a plunger that goes onto the person's chest for compressions and does the perfect rate, the perfect depth.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
it's
I vote for
So
it
you
to
don't have
be
to do it
EMT
anymore.
of the year every year.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
pretty
thing-
phenomenal to watch it work.
It's so efficient that you can actually start seeing patient movement, or they'll start chewing on
Wow.
your tube that you intubate them with because they have such good circulation.
Even though they're already dead.
The best CPR we can do is a third of the heart's output
Wow.
at best CPR hands-on.
Wow.
This thing is so much better.
So do you think this? Now thinking about this week. There's another question. Should they have these at different places like
Oh yeah.
NFL stadiums and that kind of deal?
Oh, no doubt.
Most definitely, yeah.
That would-
Yeah.
that's
the only
crazy
thing is they're
thought.
$30,000.
Well, but NFL they could do that.
NFL,
Well, I was
NFL
thinking
can
of high
afford- yeah.
schools.
NFL can afford it.
I was thinking of high school.
Well, you can't have it. in
But
high
you can't do
schools.
it like
Yeah.
No way.
that's what I was thinking of because they show the improvements.
Well, we
It's
could if
immediate
you would stop
hands-on.
take the Ukraine money and send it to high schools.
Oh,
they could do
hello. We
that. I'm
could.
sorry, did I say that out
That's
loud?
exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, new.
Well, doesn't
Congress.
what is it, Christus EMS that runs around here? Don't they have Lucas?
I have no idea.
Really?
I think so.
In all their
Mm-hmm.
in all their ambulances?
And I don't know if it's all of them, but I've worked a few accidents with the fire department, and we've had to use
See,
them.
we're backwards. Only our engines carry them. When they have more people, how does
What
that
in the
even make
world?
sense?
Why do your
What?
engines have them?
Yeah, it's the first time I saw it working, it freaked me out because it's just hammering away, and it's like, is that going a little too deep? Do we need to stop and adjust?
And so here's the
Wow.
question I got for you, okay? Is a person on the Lucas machine, are they alive just being on the Lucas machine? Or is there more to life than just the blood pumping and the lungs inflating?
A short answer: no. They're dead. I mean, I can give them even more drugs like epi that's going to start their heart, and their heart's going to start moving too. But a lot of times it's just going to phase right back out.
Yeah.
It'll get it going, and then it'll just phase right back out. And I'm telling you, CPR resuscitations, like true resuscitations, are very, very rare.
Yep.
And then they have studies looking at just whenever they check out of the hospital, what kind of quality of life do they have?
Longevity after
And
that?
a lot of the drugs that we give is
Ooh.
detrimental to
Wow.
the out like whenever the discharge of the patient.
Wow.
So it's
'Cause when
on
you're-
God is what I can
Well, I
say.
guess
when
here's
it
the,
comes to
here's
CPR.
the
Yeah.
also thought I have. This is articles about a girl that had passed away, and they put her on a machine and left her alive or they let her heart beat for years after,
Yeah,
and then finally after
years. That's wild.
Yeah, years.
Wow.
Because that Crowley pregnant lady, that was just several months.
No, they flew her out to a different state because New Jersey has a law where you whatever anyway, but they left her on for years.
Wow.
Mm.
And then finally, so here's my thought is that in our generation and our age, we need to make sure that our people, that our kids, that our families know that, hey, death's a part as much a lot. Death
Oh,
is as much part of life as birth is as much a part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people think that we're inevitable, that we are invincible
Mm-hmm.
when death is inevitable.
Yeah.
And so we don't know when our time is, whether we're 13 years old or even like DeMar on the field.
Well, even with
whatever.
DeMar, what's still going to happen to him?
We don't know.
He's still going to die.
Oh, eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Even popular mechanics.
Just like
well,
Lazarus.
hopefully they could still get this. Exactly. Hopefully they can still get this right. 10 out of 10 people still die.
Except for
Yeah.
one.
You know?
Except for one.
Two.
So
Elijah.
Elijah got called out.
Yeah.
Preacher
They will
card,
though. They
preacher
will.
card.
They will die according to Revelation. If you're that's
another-
theory though. You
that's
know.
Well, hey, speaking of Revelation. All right. So speaking of, so DJ brought up the conspiracy theory.
There's
stuff
a real
earlier.
segue right there.
I love it. All right. So just in times, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. We talked about Israel a bunch and how it's already became a country again. I was trying to-
1948.
Okay, 48. I was going to
Yes.
say 46. Obviously wrong.
You were close.
We'll compromise, say 47.
No, it's 48. Thank you very much. 1948.
It was-
You
it
can
was
say what you want to, Aggie, but it's 1948.
It was 1948.
We'll split the difference.
So that's when it was recognized. And then we have all these different things that we see, multiple signs of tribulation drawing near. We got the false teachers. Okay, Furtick. I follow a Facebook thing. It's like Furtick the heretic kind of thing. I love it. It's so much
Hey,
fun.
I wouldn't disagree.
No, hey, I like to tell us for all those people that like that kind of stuff. I say, hey, just sing. You got great songs.
Yeah.
Just sing.
Yep.
Don't teach.
Yeah.
If you're going to teach, you're going to teach heresy. Stop.
Yeah, for real.
And he gets
Read the scripture.
pretty bad heresy. So it talks about false teachers, dissension among, that's been going on forever, but dissension among nations, devastation of food supply. This made me think, and it's kind of hard to like put some actual context to it here. But remember whenever the meat supply was taken out because of the hackers got online and jacked up all the meat supply stuff?
Yeah.
I think maybe it was a test. I don't know. Maybe
I think
they were
it
just seeing
was.
what it could do.
So all the cows that they killed?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The murder, exactly right. All the cows are taken out. They can shut down this our supply by eliminating the diesel for the trains and trucks and everything else because of the environmental stuff.
Bigger than that is what's in fertilizer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then how do you harvest
Uh-huh.
the crops?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fertilizer it's got fuel in fertilizer,
Yeah.
in mass produced fertilizer.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So you can't fertilize the field. So how do you produce
Exactly.
the grain
Well, they think-
or the
yeah.
corn and those? It's gonna get bad.
They
in a
think
few
farming
years.
is the worst thing for global.
Yeah, and that's what's
warming.
funny about it is I think I've mentioned it before. Is I saw a video where John Deere was trying to pitch this battery operated harvester. We all know how big harvesters are, right? Those things are massive.
How big is the battery?
And I don't know. I have no idea. But this farmer was like, well, how long does the battery last? And they were like, well, you probably get 12, 18 hours out of it. And the farmer was like, we harvest
24/7.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He goes, my farm is 30 miles from my closest field. He goes, so I'd be halfway out of battery by the time I got there.
Wow.
Again, and this farmer's like just berating this guy. And I mean, he's making valid points. And everybody else is kind of going, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, this guy's right. This isn't going to work.
What we've got in our country right now are people in ivory towers trying to make laws for people that live on the dirt, and they don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of all the cutbacks and everything else that they're trying to get. Because that's why we have DEF on diesel vehicles. It doesn't
Doesn't do anything.
It costs you more money.
It costs, but it's going back into their pockets at people that's
the
thinking
DEF.
it. So we got the food supply, we got diseases. Oh, hello! I wonder what we're talking about there, and it's mutating even more now. They're talking about bigger hits. I mean, we even talked about at Rains where I teach. They were thinking about even shutting down today and tomorrow. They still haven't came back. They just shut down today, but just because of so many people being out, not just kids but faculty, that they were going to probably have to shut down.
And that's not that's not unheard of. We had the flu.
That's because of the flu.
Yeah, but
the flu exists.
It does this year. This year it exists. Last year it didn't.
Yeah.
But nothing's been pushed like the jab.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's been pushed like this ever. And then everything is classified as a guy. I will never forget a guy that died on a motorcycle accident comes back and they tell us that he was COVID positive. And he counts as a COVID death.
Because
he died on a motorcycle?
Because why?
Money.
Every COVID death gets a hospital $250,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I don't ever know.
That's ridiculous.
They get money. They
absolutely ridiculous.
Incentives to kill people.
And so what they ought to do is sue these hospitals for falsifying their paperwork, just like they do for Social Security or whatever else that they Medicare fraud.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because no, he didn't die from that. He was in a motorcycle wreck. Did he have COVID? Sure. I mean, everybody had sniffles or whatever else.
Yeah. A headache can be COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we got diseases, we got disasters. That's nonstop. Death for the sake of Christ. We don't pay attention to this stuff. I get it's a Martyrs magazine. I can't think of the name of it now. Oh my goodness, I'm on the spot. But yeah, I get
Martyrs Monthly.
I get the same thing. It's from the Richard Wurmbrand company.
Yes, that's it. That's it. I was going to say Way of the Master and the Way of the Martyrs. No. That's not it. That's not it. But yes,
I I'm just being
Voice
silly.
of Martyrs.
Voice of the Martyrs.
Ah, there it is.
You were close.
And man, I read those from time to time. God bless it.
We don't know what it is like.
It happens more than,
It's
than
not
we
in the
think it
news.
does.
It's not publicized.
Well, and it's creeping closer and closer because one of the last ones that I was reading about was right beside us in old UK. Man, they are getting taken over by Islam.
Yes, thank you
and
very
it
much.
is just they're getting put down, and it's not going to make the news.
And talking of conspiracy theories, there are several no-go zones.
Oh yeah,
in England where the police and they don't go.
Crazy.
Yeah, they got Sharia law covering it up, and they're not going to talk about it because it's not you can't talk against Islam
Uh-huh.
Yep.
in the media and whatever else. And the mayor of London
Yeah.
is a Muslim.
Unbelievable.
The
Wow.
mayor of London is a Muslim.
Yep.
From Iraq or wherever.
Turkey.
He's a Turkey. He might be Turkey. He's a turkey, that's for sure. But I don't know. But I mean, seriously, it's crazy.
Well, what I'm reading all these off of, it's based off Matthew chapter 24, verses 5 through 14.
Yep.
And so each verse mentions this stuff.
Right.
That's why I'm kind of going through it. And the next one is disloyalty among friends. This has been happening for a long time because of this small little cellular device where now people
You
have
didn't like my
this social
picture?
media.
You didn't like my picture.
I loved it. I loved it, man. I put my
I'm
little
offended.
like button on
I'm
it.
offended.
anymore.
You're not on my friend list anymore because you didn't like my
Yes.
picture.
What a brilliant design for division among people to not have any contact, even within families.
Yeah.
Families will sit down and every one of them will be on their phone.
At dinner,
If they even sit down to have dinner together.
Yeah. Well, that's like, my wife and I were talking the other day, and it's just rampant here recently is all these people announcing their divorces on social media. And it's people that, like, she knows. She's had, like, 3 or 4 friends that have, for whatever reason. And it's just crazy because that device, had it not come into fruition the way, where would we be as a society if we didn't have smartphones?
Well, just
not as smart.
Have dumb phones. So there's 10 of them. We're already at number 8. Okay, so stand by. We're almost done.
Almost there.
Delusion associated with false religion and drug use. An increase in drug use will likely facilitate this delusion in the end times. So I wanted to get back to that with pharmacy. Well, this is
Pharmakia?
This is getting back to it. So pharmacos, or whatever is how John uses it, is where we get pharmacy, which is pharmacia. That's my Spanish for the day. It's just the ingestion of drugs. There's so many people that are placed on medication now, ADHD, but beyond that, bipolar, everything else.
Mental illness.
And suicides are sky high. And the medications that people take, it gets them going. They feel good. They come off their drugs, and then they commit suicide because they felt great and they didn't need it, and then now they're worse off than what they are.
Yeah.
This is that's just a small example.
The scariest thing about that is people with ADHD has the highest suicide rates of anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it, but there's a lot of drugs involved because of that too.
Yeah.
Medication wise. 9, defection from the faith and goodness. Well, that's well rampant. Going back to you were talking about the abortion stuff, where lawmakers are just in over their heads because people would have to give care to a baby that was born that the mother wanted to abort. It's just crazy. And then the declaration of the gospel. Well, the one good thing about the technology we have is we can get it out there with all the different languages, and people can hear this truth. But that is every one of those things that the verses hit. It's possible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that was out of Matthew. You said that was your Matthew verse.
Yep, it's Matthew chapter 24, verses 5 through 14. I
2
just wanted to go through all
2 says this. For this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought, man, what is that? How's that going to work? How are people going to fall for all that kind of stuff? How are they going to fall for the Antichrist?
Right.
You're looking around now.
Yeah.
How many lies have people believed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just the mask stuff. Fauci himself said the mask was not going to work, and then the very next thing he said, wear a mask. And then after that, he was like, the mask doesn't work. We got to wear 2 masks.
Yeah.
3 masks.
Exactly.
Triple.
And people just, okay, hey, we
My
got to
favorite
do it.
thing was people walking outside with a mask.
Or in their
Oh my
car.
gosh. Yeah.
by
By themselves.
Yes.
Wear the mask, get your boosters.
But I've just been looking up a lot of this stuff. I've been looking up the Euphrates River drying up.
Yep.
That's pretty
But-
cool to see all this kind
And to
of
me,
pictures.
the sad thing of
Yeah.
all this is that people have been taught to believe lies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. They've been taught to believe lies. Well, you got to trust the government. Or you got to trust the history.
Trust the government.
Or trust these things. Wait,
Yeah.
who
I ain't
who
trusting the
gave you the
government.
history?
Trust the
What makes
science.
history? Here's my question for you, again, about biblical things. Okay. Which is the best interpretation? Is it an interpretation 2,000 years later? Or is it an interpretation at the time it happened?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so people now think I get all kinds of emails about book deals. I like all kinds of electronic books, and I got one yesterday about somebody had a new interpretation about what happened at the Alamo.
I'm pretty sure only one thing happened at the Alamo.
No, they think that Davy Crockett, they think that Travis, they think that Jim Bowie, all those guys, they rewrite them back as cowards instead of heroes.
Wow.
Howard was the one that left.
But that's the thing. They're believing a lie, and they're thinking, well, we know more now. We have more availability now. No, we don't. We don't have more availability of books that were written in those days. We have the same books that were written in those days. And so what are you going to believe?
If anything, it's lessened.
Our day or their day?
People's getting rid of them.
Yeah.
People don't want true history.
Yeah.
So it's lessened.
Exactly. And I'm going, you guys are crazy. So what about the Bible?
Because if you're going to rewrite that as they were cowards, then you're basically rewriting how Texas came about.
That's what they want.
Well, they want that.
What's that verse?
I'm surprised they didn't just say it's racist.
Yeah.
They
that's
did
what I was
so
gonna
much.
say.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
And so what they
just
do
went out
is
there to kill the
they got
Mexicans
the
'cause they were
version
there.
from Mexico,
Yeah.
which were in again. I tell this people all the time. Well, what about the land that we live on? Was it for Native Americans? And I look at them, I go, every war wins the land.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it is.
And that's why all the Indian
Every
nations
war
fought each
win
other.
the land. And so when my granddad was here they lived in Comanche County over in Central Texas, they had Indian wars in their time. And I'm going against Comanche Indians. And so I'm going, dude, they won the Indian wars.
Part of life.
We get the land.
Like that since the
Well,
Bible
did we
days.
take their land? Now, did we do everything right? No, we shouldn't have marched them across on a trail of tears and those kind of
There's
things.
lots of
Yeah.
bad
Those things
stuff
you
that
don't and shouldn't do.
But just because there was bad things don't mean that you can take away the truth.
Exactly.
I mean, they're trying to enhance all these outliers and say that so you can't trust the middle. Well, okay, come on, like this.
And then there's so much history that I'm thinking, okay, what you got to do for history is go back to the time.
Yeah.
You
Well-
don't understand history from our vantage point.
Right.
They think they're so smart. I mean, I got taken back to this verse, Romans 1:22. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. You know, they think they're so
So true.
smart. They think they have
And
so
that's
much
where we are right
knowledge,
now.
so much information from technology that, I know more about this than this person experienced.
And I've never,
you know?
and all the verses that come to mind, here's one. Whether there be knowledge, it shall cease.
Yeah.
I think we're here.
There's a rapid
Yeah.
decline going on.
We have a lot of information,
Yes.
but we have no knowledge.
No wisdom.
Yep. Yeah, and it kind of makes me think of flat Earth people.
That's a whole nother breed right there.
But just to wrap up my last little point here, okay? This is it. This is all I got. Harav Shlomo Yehuda. He is this next biggest guru over there for the rabbis, and it's really weird how he is treated. He's already been praised as like the
healer
prophet
and a healer
or the Messiah.
Yeah.
Okay, the Messiah for the Jews, and it's so much so that the New York head
Jew dude
person, flew over there, and it's almost gross. They're having them sit down at this table, and these old men, like 80-year-old guys, are fighting over this 30-ish. I think he's 33, 34, somewhere around there.
It is, yeah, for real.
And they are fighting over kissing this guy's hand because he knows
he can recite the Talmud
right
exactly,
perfectly.
perfectly.
He plays the piano and stuff like that. And he wears glasses which is kind of
He's got a big beard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be like perfect, but he's got to wear glasses. Okay. But he's already claimed, and they have claimed for him to do miracles as well. There's been 6 miracles that he's already performed.
Yes.
So all of this stuff, what I'm getting at is there's a lot of signs of times that's getting out there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I've just been digging deep into
And
it.
we'll add this too. In America, we've never experienced a time that has been as anti-Christian as we are now.
Amen.
Absolutely.
It's anti-Christian. Because why? Because the Bible doesn't affirm your lifestyle.
Right.
My argument for them is the Bible doesn't affirm any lifestyle.
Except for
It affirms its
Christ-like.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so if we're all sinners, we have to understand that we all need Jesus. We all have issues and flaws and whatever they are. And here's my newsflash. All of them send us to hell.
Right.
None of them are good.
Yep.
We
That's
all
right.
have pride. We all have the tendency for selfishness. We all have the tendency for gluttony or whatever. You know what I'm saying. We all have tendencies,
Sounds- yeah.
and there's nothing good about us. And if God saves us, He's the only good thing in us because
That's
we
it.
trust Him.
There are none good.
And so the only way to get to heaven is through Jesus.
Amen.
It's not
That's
because
it.
of us.
And all that, like we might look around and see all this stuff that's happening. I hope it's not to scare it. It should just be
It's
to be,
exciting.
yeah, to be joyous in it, to know that our God is God and He's in control, and He knows so much that He's even said it in His scriptures
Yeah.
and laid it out for us to see. That's why we know that it's coming, because He gave us signs. Hallelujah, praise the Lord, and then go tell somebody
Yep.
Yep.
Sean.
so that they're not getting caught up in all this worldly lifestyle stuff. That
I
you
said
just
that last night in my lesson. Y'all had your thing going on with the youth. We're starting 1 John, and we did the first 4 verses. And I said, man, it's pretty awesome that He showed us who He was, and now He wants us to go and tell.
Yeah.
yes.
And that's why.
Yeah. And,
so-
we shouldn't be to a
so
time where
cool.
we're upset and like draw back and be scared. No, this is when we drive Him even more, because
Yes.
now we have the
We
victory.
know,
We know that
yeah.
He's already proclaimed, and that we can go forth on His promises that is coming true as we sit here.
I mean,
and
it's
speak.
a privilege to see all these things happen and be like, we're probably most likely the last generation
Could be
of
very well.
Christians.
There's so many things
We
that people
could
say,
see.
well, it's happened before in history or whatever else. I'm going, no,
Not like this.
Not
Not-
lining up like we have.
Not
And
to this magnitude.
We can talk
This is worldwide.
literally around the world in a millisecond on the phone
Yep.
Yep.
or on a cell phone. We can text everybody. And I talked several weeks, it was, I guess, a couple weeks ago about the Revelation prophets come back. And I said, people are going to celebrate 3 days, 3 nights. They're laying dead in the street. How are they going to know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Not just
Yeah.
television. It's going to be on the phone.
Right
It's
there.
going to be a
Yeah.
blip
Yeah.
across your phone.
Twitter right
Everybody's
there.
phone.
And it's going to be shared and shared.
Yeah.
And shared.
Yep.
After they breathe fire on me,
More
kill
than,
them.
what's more than viral? Exactly.
I wish I had that kind of,
No doubt. Yeah.
breathe fire on them.
Yeah, so I just want to bring it out so people can just be encouraged.
Yep.
Get out there and read for yourself.
Yes. Study the
And,
scripture.
Yeah, and dig deep, and you know what? Ask some questions. Send some questions in. So maybe
Yeah,
we
the
can-
goal of what we do here, we want to show everybody that we can have a good time.
Mhm.
Yes.
But the most important thing we do is about God.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
He's
It's the
central.
message of the gospel. So we talk about sports, we talk about all this other stuff, and mess with people, whatever. It's all.
we
all in
argue a
fun.
little
It's all
bit,
in
me
fun.
and Brett.
But we understand that Jesus is the way,
Amen.
The way.
and that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
So again, if you have questions, just reach out. We would gladly share with you the way to heaven.
Amen.
Absolutely.
There's only one way.
Shoot, maybe it'd be some good topics to have if we get enough on here. That'd be fun.
Sounds
Kind of
good.
like what we do on Wednesday
Like a
night.
Q&A. Like
Yeah.
they can send
Yeah.
some questions in and we
That'd be
can give our best answer if possible.
That'd be nice. Well,
But-
hey guys, thank you so much for listening to us. If you've made it this far, this is a good long one. I like it.
It is. If you
Yes.
haven't already liked and subscribed to us on Facebook, or if you haven't found our Facebook, search out the Church Guys Podcast Show, and that's where we post updates and links and when all the new shows and recordings come out. Keep track of it for when the March Madness brackets come out and see if you can outdo us and win some money.
That's right.
We're not betting. It's just a free,
No, yeah, we're not betting, but
a free gift to the winner.
yeah,
That's right.
it's an Amazon gift card. It's not betting.
Well, thanks for listening. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Join us next time on the podcast where we talk about our Super Bowl picks, other things going on in the world of sports, maybe baseball season starting to heat up, and then we'll be ready for spring. So we hope you're back with us next time on the Church Guys Podcast.